Hey guys, and welcome to another week of WoW Weekly with Myst. Okay, so for this week's events, we have Midsummer Fire Festival, which is the big event for the week, I guess, and that will be around from June 21st to July 5th. And the weekly will be Battlegrounds for this week, and also PvP Brawl Cooking Impossible is this week. As for goals, I don't think I really made any goals last week, but we definitely got some this week. So, as far as goals, I am working on the Hunter. I am wanting to raid with my Hunter in 9.1. The bow that you can get is so amazing. I think it looks awesome. And so that's kind of my goal, is that I've been kind of slacking on leveling because leveling is super boring now with the level squish. But I'm forcing myself to level that Hunter so that I can take her into the new raid when 9.1 releases. As for accomplishments, I actually got quite a bit done this week, which was pretty cool. Venari, I got the rep completed with Venari, so I am now Appreciative, aka Exalted. Timewalking I didn't really do, but one thing I would like to mention is that the experience is really bad in Timewalking now. It's like 5,500 experience or something for a Timewalking dungeon. Meanwhile, you get 49,000 for a Shadowlands dungeon. So a very, very bad experience. And I didn't go into any, to be honest. I was going to farm the Infinite Time Reaver. And then I got a quest for Shadowlands dungeon, and that kind of made the decision right there. I was like, okay, well, I might as well do the Shadowlands dungeon because I have a quest for it, than take a lousy 5,500. So it's really making it a little rough for me to be motivated to continue farming the Infinite Time Reaver, because with there not being a benefit on top of that to go in there, because I've had all the mounts off the vendors purchased for a long time. I've pretty much been done with Timewalking. The only thing that makes it so I'm not done with it is the fact that I don't have Infinite Time Reaver. But yeah, it's definitely been very unmotivating to do farms for that, and I haven't actually farmed the Infinite Time Reaver in we'll say years. You know, the last time I truly did a Timewalking was when they brought out the WoD mounts, which I'd already had most of the currency because I'd been banking currency, and that was, I think BFA was a year into the expansion when they brought out the WoD vendor mounts. And I was able to buy one right off the bat, and then the next time I rolled around, I got the second one. So I've been pretty caught up for a while, and before they did that, I was already caught up for a while with the others. So yeah, the Infinite Time Reaver is not a very happening farm for me, that's for sure. So anyway, another thing that I did accomplish this week is the Soulhunter mount. I got it. I noticed that the hunt was up, and so I went out there. Here's some footage right here of the mount and all that. And so I went out. I went into pre-mades, and I was trying to form a group, and no one was on. No one wanted to farm it. And so I saw that a hunter group was out there, because the way I do things is I always get myself out there and then I make the group so that I don't have to go pour it out. But then I'm already out there and I can kind of start things rolling while I'm waiting for people to come into the group. And I saw that a horde team was working on it. And the first phase, you don't really get credit for, but I'm like, I wonder if I'd get credit for the boss kill. You know, everything else was gray, like the first, you know, phase of trash and all that was their tags. But then I followed them down with the boss kill and it dropped. I was so psyched. It's funny because I was psyched over something I wasn't even truly farming, you know? Like I would do the hunts when I would see them, of course, because it is a mount chance. But I'm a druid. I don't really care about mounts in the Maw, you know, because as a druid, it's actually faster for me to stealth and dash instead of mounting up where I'd have trash that could potentially stop me, right? And yeah, so it's kind of hilarious. It's a mount that I don't even use because I prefer to be stealthed in the Maw. I just get places a lot faster. And yeah, but nonetheless, I am pretty happy that I managed to pull that off before we are able to mount up in the Maw on any mount. And on that topic, I guess the best way to start our news is 9.1. So 9.1 finally got a release date. They announced it last week, and so the date that it will launch is June 29th for North America and June 30th for EU. July 1st if you're in Asia. I feel like it came out of nowhere. I know we've been waiting a really long time, but I feel like they weren't quite ready. There was a lot of stuff going on with WoW players moving over to Final Fantasy last week, and it's been ongoing for a long time. It wasn't just last week, but I think the fact that it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I think they just said, fuck it, we're not ready, but we're losing people here. We gotta pull the plug, right? And yeah, and so I think it's gonna be a very incomplete patch. I do, but whatever. Honestly, I don't care. I wasn't even really excited for the patch to begin with, to be perfectly honest. And until I saw that bow, I had absolutely no excitement. And it's still, I don't know, it's still like half excitement, I guess. It's a cool bow, and I'm working on my hunter to get it, but it's like, there's nothing too major going on. But for those that are interested in what we're gonna be expecting in the 9.1, we have the new zone that is Korthia. There's, of course, Sanctum of Domination raid, which is a 10-boss raid. This raid will open up on July 6th. That's when you can go into normal and heroic difficulties. LFR people, you will have to wait till the 13th, so that's when Wing 1 will open up. And Mythic difficulty will open up as well on July 13th. And then July 27th is Wing 2 for LFR. August 10th is Wing 3. And August 24th is Wing 4. And there's also a requirement level that we know of beforehand for you being able to queue into the LFR. So if you want to work towards that right now, and you haven't been, you're not, at least 200 item level, you will need at least an item level of 195 to be able to queue in for that. As for item level, the Raid Finder item level for the first 8 bosses will be 213, and then the final 2 bosses will give you a 220 item level. For normal, your first 8 bosses will be a 226, and then your final 2 bosses 233. Heroic, your first 8 bosses is a 239 item level, and the last 2 bosses is 246. And for Mythic, your first 8 bosses is 252, and the last 2 bosses will be 259. Now, I did mention the Hunter bow, of course, that you can loot. There is also a quiver that everyone can loot There is a unique effect on it, which I imagine would only be for hunters, though. So it does say class hunters on the quiver, but we have been told that everyone can use it. However, the equip says every 5 shots trigger withering fire, striking up to 5 enemies in front of you. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a hunter thing. So that is probably the reason the item actually says it's for a hunter. Personally, I think the quiver looks really good. And the Edge of Night is a dagger. And it is for rogues. Also worth noting that there will be, some pets and mounts in the raid. Sylvana will drop the Vengeance Reigns, which is on Mythic difficulty. The 9 drops the Charger, and if you do the meta achievement for Glory of Sanctum Raider, you will get the Hand of Restamorak. For raid pets, we have the Eye of All-Seeing. You can get this from the Eye of the Jailer on all difficulties. Eye of Extermination, Eye of the Jailer on only a Mythic difficulty. Iron Grasp drops from Soul Render Dormazane on all difficulties. And Mawsworn Minion is from Kel'Thuzad, which is from all difficulties as well. There's also a couple of titles you can get from the raid. So if you defeat Sylvanas on Mythic difficulty, you will get Breaker of Chains as a title. If you are, one of the first 100 Horde or Alliance guilds that defeats Sylvanas on Mythic, you will get the famed Bane of the Banshee Queen. And here's a screenshot I took of the map where you see the point of the arrow is where the entrance to the raid is. There'll be some new world bosses. Well, actually, it's just one world boss. It's for Korthia, and his name is Morgeth, Tormentor of the Damned. And there's also the 8-boss mega dungeon that's going to be in Tazavesh, the Vale Market. There's going to be additional Torghast content, system, rewards, all that, achievements. And, of course, the new Mythic season. The new affix will be Tormented. There'll be a new PvP season with new gear and stuff. And some new Covenant campaigns. 40 more levels of Renown. I know you're pretty excited about that one, right? And, of course, flying, which I think we're all excited for. And, of course, there's some pets, mounts, transmogs, and toys and all that crap. Next up, we have the Fallen Charger Gold mount. So here is a map location of the path that the mob walks. Okay, so the rare elite is going to be the Fallen Charger. And he walks 2 paths. So basically, once he spawns, he will do a zone-wide announcement saying, an ear-splitting whinny echoes across the maw as the Fallen Charger begins its ride. So once you hear that, he takes his 2 different paths here. These are the 2 paths. The patrol is said to take roughly 4 to 5 minutes. And if he reaches Korthia, he does despawn. So this is definitely one that's going to be a pain. Also worth noting here as well that when he is getting ready to despawn, you will know, so you'll know to stop looking for him for that little bit. There will be another zone-wide announcement, and it'll be Fallen Charger releases a final mournful whinny as it fades away. As far as the fight itself, he is going to start at 1.5 million health, and the more people that attack, the more health he has. So he could be a tough fight. He does hit hard. As for the drop rate on this guy, he is a 1 to 3% drop rate. As for the spawn on this guy, it's anywhere from 1 to 7 hours. The shortest spawn was an hour, the longest was 7, and the average was between 4 to 5. So one small little change that has been made is having to do with hard mode Tazavesh. They have changed the item level of the drops out there. So that is part of the 8 boss mega dungeon. And the gear now is a 233, which is a 7 item level increase. Another thing that's going on for 9.1 is the depletion of your keystones. So now what you can do is you go into Oribos, you go to Tassup, and you can just speak to him. This is the message window that will appear on your screen. Are you sure you want to reduce your keystone level? You hit accept and it reduces it. This one's a weird one. I think, for starters, it took them long enough. I feel like it took them way too long to have an option like this. And second of all, isn't it a little inconvenient that it's in Oribos? Like, why isn't there a guy, like, standing at the keystone thing in the dungeon? You know, like, that would make so much more sense. And then you just drop it right there. Or even, you know, I know this one might be a little out there, but even if you had someone standing by each meeting stone, you know, I realize maybe that would take more work because then it's multiple NPCs, but yeah, it just seems weird. Like, just have an option. Like, maybe have a other option on the font, right? You know how the font will ask you if you're ready to go. Just have, like, an option of, do you want to drop the key? Just seems like it wouldn't be that tough to do. I don't know. But nonetheless, that is how you can do it. You just would need to know that you're dropping it before you go out there. Okay, guys, so that is all I have for you guys for this week. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are still having fun in the game. And if not, then I'm sure you've moved on to something else that you're hopefully having fun in. And yeah, have a great week. For those going after Midsummer Festival achievements, have fun. There's tons of them. Lots of good things that you can get from them. If any of you guys, took an interest in my Celestial video that I posted recently, one of those pets is a Midsummer pet, so you may want to do the event for that. And yeah, and that's all I have to say. So have a great one, guys. Hope you are looking forward to 9.1, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
The chill of death protects me. None can escape the storm.